Hello, it's episode 18.
Hello and welcome to episode 18. It is episode 18 and it's been nearly 3 weeks since the government told us to keep our distance from one another, and nearly 3 weeks since they said the schools were gonna close. And so it's taken. Well, it hasn't been that long, has it? But it also seems like we've been in this same strange phase for a long time. And I don't know what phase you're in, whether you're frustrated or whether you're bored or whether you're enjoying lockdown maybe, or maybe you're separated from friends and family. Well, we're all separated from friends, aren't we? But maybe if one of your family is in the healthcare industry, maybe they're having to live separate from you, and that's tough. And we want to say thank you for making that sacrifice, for allowing your family member to be separate from you for a while. And we recognise that you're part of that as well. And we want to say we appreciate all the people who are making sacrifices during these hard times to keep us safe. And I don't know if you saw the Queen on telly the other night. I thought she was wonderful, and she says that we will meet again. She gave us hope, didn't she? That things will go back. We will be able to see friends and family again. And I loved that, and I thought that was great leadership from our Queen. The other thing, the main thing, hopefully, that gives us hope is the Bible, and we're going to hear a bit from that. We're going to continue what Jesus did through his last week. But before that, we're going to do something. Well, go back to what we have done for the last 4. This is number 5 of these now. And so we're going to say... Ready? What's in the drawer? What's in the drawer? Very good. And so what's in the drawer today? Today it's in this middle drawer, and what is this? Here we have some headphones. And here is Ruth with some recommendations of the things that we can be listening to during these times.
Hi everyone, I'm here to bring you some song recommendations. We've all got a bit more time on our hands at the moment, haven't we? What a great opportunity to have your headphones in, listening to some good music. And these are songs that I think you should be listening to at the moment. Think of it as my very own chart show. So my first recommendation is Treasure by Lion of Judah. They're a really funky, cool band, and the lyrics are great, just reminding us that Jesus is our only treasure. Secondly, 139 by King's Kaleidoscope. Again, a really cool band with a bit of a different style, but these lyrics are based on Psalm 139, so they're incredible. Thirdly, I have CityAlight, which are again a really popular Christian band at the moment, so I'm sure you'll hear them crop up a lot in my song recommendations. This is called Home, and it's an amazing song, a really upbeat song that reminds us of where our true home is. My fourth recommendation is Sovereign Grace, which is a band that we use a lot of their music at St Bart, so you might know some of their songs. But this song is called I Lay It All, which is quite a chilled out, relaxed song, and it speaks for itself. It reminds us how we can lay everything before Jesus. And finally, again, my final recommendation for today, I might hopefully do some more song recommendations in a different video. But again, CityAlight, the same band as before, but this time a more chilled out song. It's a beautiful song. It's called Christ Is Mine Forevermore. I love to listen to this when I'm getting ready in the morning. I don't know why, but that would be my recommendation. So they're my songs. They'll be in a list in the description of this video, hopefully. And yeah, if you have any song recommendations that you've been loving, please get in touch with us via email and let me know so I can share them with everyone else on these videos. Thanks for watching. Why not, when you finish watching Bev's video, go and listen to those 5 songs. I hope you enjoy them.
Cool, thank you, Ruth. Hopefully you'll find some really good tunes to be listening to, and that'll be great. So now, it's Bible time, and it's time to find out what Jesus did next. And actually there's too much to fit in. On this Monday and there's Tuesday in Holy Week, there's so much to fit in, and so I'm just going to pick one little bit. Now in this time, the Pharisees, who were like the keepers of the Old Testament law, they they were out to trap Jesus. And this is why, because we saw yesterday that Jesus was bringing in a new thing, a new way of relating with God. No longer were we going to have to keep our side of the covenant, our side of the bargain, because we can't. But Jesus was going to bring in something new, which we'll see later on in the week. But now we find the Pharisees who are actually clinging on to the old way. They want to cling on to the old covenant because they think they can keep it. Because they think they can actually earn their way to God. Because what they've done is they've taken the Old Testament law that God had said, you keep this law, and they'd actually added extra rules. God says, don't touch this. And so they said, don't go anywhere near that. Whereas God just said, don't touch it. But they said, don't go anywhere near it. And they had all kinds of rules and regulations. And so they were clinging on to the old way. And this is why, not just because they were old, although they might not have been old, but actually they were happy with the old way because with the old way, with their rules and their regulations, they were in control. They had the power. And don't we all like to be in control? Don't we all like that feeling that we have some kind of power over our own lives and our own circumstances and over our own freedoms? Isn't that what we're missing right now? Hasn't this coronavirus thing exposed our desire to be in control and our real unease when there are things happening that we don't have control over? And so the Pharisees, they were in control, to what they thought they were in control anyway, and they held the power and they were happy with that. And so Jesus was a threat. Jesus was a threat. And so they tried lots of different things to try and trick him. And if you read Matthew 21 and 22, you find lots of different questions. The Pharisees just came to Jesus, and go, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? And Jesus answered them all so cleverly. And one of the questions was, Jesus, I'm going to get you now. What's the greatest law? You can't get out of that one now. Because if Jesus said, well, this was the greatest law, he was saying that the other laws were not so great. Oh, and they couldn't have that. And so Jesus again answered really cleverly. He said, actually, there's one law that sums up the whole lot. And so this is what we're going to read now from Matthew chapter 22 and verses 34 to 40. Very short. Hearing that Jesus had silenced the Sadducees, some types of Pharisees, the Pharisees got together. One of them, an expert in the law, tested him with this question. Teacher, what is the greatest commandment in the law? Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it, love your neighbour as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments. And so Jesus is saying there's one law that covers them all. And if you obey this one, then you're going to get the others right. He says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. Love God first. Put God first. And secondly, love others. Love your neighbour as yourself. And this law, really interesting. It actually, if you properly love others, you're going to put them first. And you're going to relinquish some kind of control. Especially if you put God first. You have to relinquish control over every single part of your life to God. And isn't this what the Pharisees wanted? Isn't this what we want? When we love God, we relinquish control and we relinquish the authority over our own lives to do what we want. We are not in control. We are not holding the power. We actually say to God, we love you and we want to do what you want and we trust you to do what's right. And we also put others first. And we look to them, not to them. We look we have these relationships and we say, how can I put them first? How can I love them? What will be best for them? Not what's best for me, what can I be best for other people? And so Jesus' new way, and actually the old way as well, the old way was always doing this. It's just the Pharisees didn't realise it. But Jesus' new way is very obviously love God, put him first, and love others. And Jesus this week is about to show us the greatest example of doing that. Jesus, as we know, would lay down his life in order to put God first, in order to love others. And Jesus would do that. So this is really challenging, isn't it? This is really challenging when we're called to love God. We're called to relinquish control and power to him and to love others. This is such a high calling in these times. Such a high calling when we kind of surrounded by these things that just make us want to grab on to all we can get. God says, no, put me first. Put God first. And that's the challenge of this one. And that's what Jesus in his final week wanted us to hear. So I hope you found that helpful and challenging. And so we'll see tomorrow some of the next things that Jesus wants us to hear. Really exciting. Can't wait for it. Hope to hear from you soon. Bye for now.